This is the Archangel 2210, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Marvel animes that they have started already. They have two Marvel animes. They have Wolverine and they have Iron Man, and they air them on G4. They're basically Japanese animes based upon Marvel characters that they just dubbed over and they brought them over here. And now we're going to have a new one, which I'm kind of excited about. The X-Men. It's just X-Men anime, and it's this format. It's kind of reminiscent of Astonishing X-Men. Um, and the story is actually done by Warren Ellis, who's actually done the most. He basically picked up the run after Joss Whedon finished the run, and Warren Ellis picked it up. So he actually did the anime. He actually did the story for the anime, which was very interesting. And it looks like, because the very beginning of the anime, it looks like it picks up at the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, or their version of the Dark Phoenix saga, where the where Jean is just going crazy with her Phoenix powers, and she's pretty much a Dark Phoenix, and they're trying to, you know, fight her, and they're mentioned the Inner Circle, and Emma Frost is in there as a villain, so they're pretty much picking up at that point where it's starting from the Hellfire Club, turning Jean bad, and that's an interesting point. Instead of starting, First Class and all that, gone through all that, because by now everyone knows what the X-Men are. Now, I really love the animation, and I'll admit, like 10 years ago, I was not a fan of Japanese anime, because I felt like all the characters kind of look the same. But now, I'm really liking it, Japanese anime. I'm really liking it, even more than some of the animation we have here. But I'm really liking it, because that shows. Because the one thing I really like with anime, because there's no CGI, it's traditional 2D animation, and if they could pull off like the phenomenal animation that they do in anime, I mean, if we really put our minds to it, we could, well, not do it as well as them, but not do as well as they do in Japan, but do something almost as good as anime. But budget wise, we always try to think the easy way out. But anyway, my one I'm really excited about the X Men anime cartoon, and it looks really good, and I like the lineup. The lineup is basically kind of the Astonishing X Men, but they redesigned the costumes. You have Psylocke as the leader, obviously, in kind of his Astonishing X Men gear, but they show him in like a Astonishing X Men type of costume, but later on in the show it's changed. It's completely redesigned. Storm, but she kind of looks like a combination of Astonishing X Men and the way she did in X Men 3 with the short hair and everything. Wolverine, Beast, and Colossus is not in it as far as I know so far, but and neither is Shadowcat. But instead they have Armor, who is actually a more recent character that was in Astonishing X Men that was believed created by Joss Whedon. And Armor is basically a female character that she can create a full psionic armor around her entire body. And it becomes like a full like mass, and that's an interesting character. But she's not going to be a major player of the X-Men team. She's going to be kind of like the Jubilee of the team. Jubilee was in the '90s cartoon, where she's a member of the team. She has a good power, but she's not really that active in the field missions. But my one um my one complaint, I was really thinking about it, and I was really watching the clip of the first 5 minutes, and I was thinking, if we have this anime, which is probably most likely going to air on G4 sometime in the fall, or maybe like October, or October or November, um, I was really thinking, you know what? If we have this anime, this really is a last nail in the coffin, and we are not gonna get Wolverine and the X Men back. And I know some people are like, oh, why are you gonna bring that up again? But it's like I can't help it. It's a really good cartoon. Wolverine X Men was really good. We pretty much were left hanging. There was a bunch of cliffhangers because I thought they would have come back, for season two, and it wasn't even because, there was no fan base, there was no ratings, that wasn't even the case. It wasn't because there was no following, there was no ratings. It was just because they did not have the financial backing. if you, I know I've mentioned this like 10,000 times, but if anyone remembers, Wolverine the X Men was on Nicktoons, was on the Nicktoons channel, which is obviously owned by Nickelodeon. Now, that whole, after the cartoon had its finale, that was before they did Disney was actually doing the deal to buy Marvel because they needed to branch their male audience. So once Disney bought Marvel, it kind of let them where they were like, you can't have that X-Men cartoon on your channel, type of thing. That's probably what basically happened. But I'm thinking if Disney is smart and they actually buy the rights to that cartoon and put it on Disney XD and show it alongside Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and if you get good enough ratings, you're probably going to be able to have people to watch it and possibly bring it back. But again, very slim chance. Very, it's like even if there's like a petition and everything, there's like all this red tape and everything that people that they have to go through. So even if the fans really, really, really want to bring Wolverine and the X-Men, I don't think any amount of petitions are going to bring it back. As I really hate saying that, but it's just because of all the behind the scenes red tape that we may or may not know about with the whole Nickelodeon Disney thing. Um, I don't think that Disney could even buy the rights to the cartoon, is what I'm saying. I don't think they can because I think that specific cartoon is owned by Nickelodeon because it was in teams with Nickelodeon, so I don't think they could even try to do that. So instead, we're going to have a really great X-Men anime, which looks good, and actually they kind of recycled some of the voice actors. Of course, you got fantastic Steve Blum reprising his role as Wolverine. Um, they didn't get Nolan North for Cyclops, which is kind of upset. But they did get an actor. I think his name is Chris Porter. He sounds a lot like him. He sounds really good. And Jean Grey, she sounds like Jennifer Hale, who did the voice of her in the animated in Wolverine X-Men and in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I'm not positive. It sounds like Jennifer Hale, but I'm not 100% positive. I could be mistaken. But the voice acting is great. It looks phenomenal. It looks really phenomenal, and I really like. I know some people are probably thinking, oh, Japanese anime, sometimes when they have our Marvel characters, they tend to butcher it a little bit. I know that may be true, and sometimes when it comes to other way around, when we have their manga, we tend to butcher the lore of it also. Case in point, Sailor Moon. Um, so right now, I would like to ask your opinions about this whole X-Men anime, and also the Wolverine and Iron Man anime that's already on G4 right now. What's your opinion about those anime Marvel animes? And would you like to see more? And would you like to see other characters have an anime cartoon, like maybe um, Spider-Man or any other character that you think would make a great anime? Leave your comments below on what you think.